Thanks for checking out the Disaster Dog Podcast, where we talk all things canine, urban search, and rescue. The views and expressions are opinions of the hosts and guests and do not represent those of any government agency that we work for or contract work to. We're just a couple idiots with microphones.
Welcome back to another episode of the Disaster Dog Podcast, where we talk everything canine related to urban search and rescue. We are back in the original studio at Chicago's Bravest in Chicago, Illinois. I'm with my co-host, teammate, friend, mentor, Mike. How you doing?
Good, buddy.
And we have our longest traveled guest, maybe by distance and time by airplane, Mr. Tim Houweling of California 3.
Hello.
Tim, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for making the trip.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Diverting, making a detour to hang out with the fellas.
You guys are worth it.
Thank you. That means a lot. We appreciate it. So how'd you end up here, actually? Before we get into this.
I think you put out a call for like a guess.
Every episode.
Yeah.
So anybody that wants to be on the show, holler.
If you want to be on the show.
Cool.
No.
Yeah.
And I responded because I had this like training trip coming up where we're going to Muscatatuck with Canine Connection next 3 days.
Okay.
And then we're heading down to Tennessee for a trip. So it just kind of all made sense to get out here and do this.
Awesome. We appreciate you switching your flight, coming to Chicago and recording, hanging out with us.
Absolutely. I'm going to plug an event that we have in September in New York City too while I'm here. So all the guests may be interested in that. So
yeah, that'd be great. Well, cool, Tim.
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, we met, I think, in Denver a couple years ago. I was admiring your camper van that I was like, oh, I need this to road trip in.
Sounds weird, but I know what you mean. It's not weird in this room.
Yeah. But, for our listeners who are tuning in for the first time or may not be familiar with you, do a little rapid fire. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for a living, and how long you've been there, and we'll
just a general background.
Yeah, general
background. I work as a fire captain in California, in the Silicon Valley area, in Bay Area, San Francisco. I work on the USAR there, so I do a lot of technical rescue stuff. Been with Task Force 3 since 2009, roughly, but started in search dogs in 2004.
Okay.
So I'm just over 21, 22 years now.
Okay.
In search and rescue dogs. I spent a bunch of time as a professional trainer.
So you're a dog trainer.
Yeah, I think I feel weird saying that, but yes, I was paid money to train dogs for 10 years. Me and my former wife ran a pretty large business where we did bad dog stuff, we did service dog stuff, we did family dog stuff, and when you would visit us over the holidays, you'd see about 67 to 70 dogs on our
significant operation.
Yeah, on our property. So, which is great experience, like fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One question I do have, when you say you're a captain, is that we don't have captains in our departments, we're lieutenants. Is that your rig boss, or do you have lieutenants and captains as well?
No, we don't have lieutenants. We just have captains.
Okay, so we're like equal rank basically.
Yeah, exactly. San Francisco has both, where they'd have lieutenants and then they'd have like a station captain who'd be the overall guy in charge of everything.
It's his house.
It's his house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
So you ran a dog training program. So you're a legitimate dog trainer.
I hate that. Like, this is so weird because the guys who tell you they're dog trainers, or if they're like, "Hey, dude, I'm a master dog trainer."
Master trainer.
I hate that.
I'm
That's
a master
terrible.
trainer.
Yeah.
That should be like a big red flag
for
everybody. So I trained dogs for a long time and got paid for it, made a living out of it, still do it. Not to the extent that I was doing it before, but we had 30 dog kennels at our house, and it would be full. And so it was fantastic experience because you want to try something, you just go pull a dog out of the kennel and, hey, let's go try it on this dog. And we could do it on 5 different dogs, 5 different ways, and see how it works out.
See if it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's
great.
cool.
Great experience.
Yeah, I went on this very weird sort of exploratory journey about dog training stuff, and I've just been blessed with a bunch of really good mentors that showed up at the right time. And we were in a position that we had the infrastructure that we would go to a shelter and pull dogs, and thinking maybe this would be a search dog, maybe not. And we try an entirely different way of training them. And if it worked, it worked. And if it didn't, then it was like a very nicely trained family dog for somebody that we would just give away. And so
that's cool.
That's
we
awesome.
pulled this great pit bull out of South Central LA. Like you think about the dogs prospects as a pit bull in South Central LA, pretty bleak. And, she pulled like the greatest scam ever of making us think she could be a search dog when we pulled her there. And then it didn't work out. And she lived such a great life with this family and for like 13 years. And
that's cool.
Fantastic.
I mean, just helping dogs in general, right?
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good time.
That's awesome. What else goes on outside the life at the firehouse and outside of dogs? What else do you do?
So I'm involved with a couple nonprofits. The one you guys probably know best is HD Search Dog Fund. We're kind of the force behind the NorCal training that we do as a collaboration between Task Force 3, Task Force 4, and Task Force 7 in California. So that's the big one. And basically we provide training and equipment to search dog teams just because, as you guys know, like
Not a cheap hobby.
it's not a cheap thing to do. And like to me it's like offensive that you'd never ask a rescue guy to show up with his own saw. And by the way, you got to fuel that saw too. And if you happen to break that saw, well, then it's on you. And like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially this is the primary source for us to find people. So I started HD Search Dog Fund as a way to sort of bridge that gap a little bit.
That's cool. That's awesome.
The other thing I do is a thing called the Siren Project. And that's, does some help for first responders with PTSD. And that's mostly connecting them with people in Mexico to do psychedelic journeys. So we see it with the veterans a lot now. All sort of the operator types talk about their experiences doing psychedelics, and we're out there doing it for first responders.
And is that police, fire, anybody?
Police, fire, EMS, search and rescue. So like our civilian friends who do this in the wilderness world are eligible. And we also send spouses.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but we're pretty hard on our spouses.
What?
Yeah. Maybe not at this table, but yeah, we are not nice to our spouses, and they carry a lot of the burden. So we send spouses as well to get some healing.
Well, that's cool that you're looking out for the spouses as well, because they are just as important in the healing process and helping you get through your day.
Yeah, man, you got to heal the whole family.
Absolutely.
Facts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, fun question. What does your morning routine look like? And on top of that, what does your dog's routine look like?
So it depends. Like you guys, I don't live very close to work. So if it's a work day, I'm up at 4:00 in the morning and out the door by 4:20, and 2 dogs in the van going to work with me. If it's on the rare 4 day, I'm usually up by 5:00 anyway, and the rest of the family's not up till about 7:30.
Are you 4896?
We're 4896.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Which is like more like 72 these days, but
Yeah.
4896. And so, yeah, I'm up at 5. I don't really drink regular coffee anymore. I drink decaf. This is part of that whole healing experience. It just screws you up.
Okay.
Fucks me up. Sorry. Can I swear on this?
Sure.
I got a bad mouth. So.
We do too.
Okay.
Amen.
So yeah, that was one of the unintended things so I don't drink coffee. So I'll have my decaf coffee, and I'm usually start at 5 a.m. with my list of things I'm going to do that day.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the quiet time because that's when I'm responding to emails and getting in touch with people on the East Coast and doing all that stuff.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. You know what? When we were texting, I was like, oh, he's probably not up yet. I cannot text him at 8 a.m. Central Time, because I was like, he's going to wake up to a flurry of text messages. So I was like spacing him out to.
Yeah, no, I'm really good at going to sleep at like 9 o'clock. 5 minutes.
Same.
I'm out.
Same.
And then, but by 4:30 or 5, the body says you're time to get up.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah. Any in the mornings, any like gratitude journaling, stuff like that?
Yeah, so I hate journaling, so I don't do that. But my family and I do like this. It's called 3 Things We're Grateful For. And so I have a 9-year-old.
Love it.
He's fantastic. And he's been indoctrinated into this idea that every night before bed, we've been doing this for like the last 4 years now, we do 3 things that we're grateful for, and we just go and we talk about like the 3 really good things that happened to us today that we're grateful for. So
That's awesome.
we do that at night, and then in the morning, I like to do a little meditation myself, and it's kind of my quiet time.
Awesome. Very cool. Mike, this is your question.
It is. If you could time travel, what era would you travel to?
Oh man, I saw a really good thing with Shane Gillis, and the question was, if you could time travel, would you go back and stop slavery, or would you go back and kill Hitler? Ooh, tough one, because you're wrong either way, and also right either way. So I finished up my master's.
He has a master's too.
Yeah, all you guys, you're so cool.
Yeah,
cool masters. Wow,
I got a
educated.
master's. Yeah.
Wow.
I got a master's in history, and so
The only class I've taken and enjoyed.
yeah,
Our history
like
classes.
it was about
In college level.
Most of it. So my thesis was on the history and evolution of search dogs in California, but most of the classes I took were around like the founding of the country. So I would love to go back to Boston and
Tea Party days.
the Tea Party days and meet
Wood
like
boats.
Dr. Joseph Warren and that whole group there. And the Boston guys are pretty badass. So,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Boston ladder culture.
Yeah. Boston ladder culture. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's a great answer. I like it. I enjoy that.
A little weird. I don't know. I know what I'm a dork about. So like
Yeah.
I've just accepted
No,
it now.
history's
I'm old
great.
enough. Like
That's, I mean, it's such a great, to learn how to, steer your ship.
Yeah,
today by
exactly.
looking back at the mistakes or good things we did, bad
There's
things we did.
lots to learn from the past, for
Yes.
sure. For sure. And it was the great part about doing that is I can't believe they let me do my thesis on, well, is a bit of a scam, right? Because
College is a scam. Yes, you are correct.
Yes.
You are correct. Yes.
so there's not a lot of primary research on search dogs. So if there's not a book about the history of search dogs. There's stories about me and my search dog and some fun things we did together.
Yeah.
But there's not like the definitive history of this is how search dogs started. So when I wrote this, it was a lot of primary research and interviewing sort of the old guard who unfortunately we're going through like this transition of the older folks are getting older and dying and we're losing a lot of that history. So I wanted to preserve it a little bit, but there's no way they can check me. Like when I wrote this thesis, like whatever I wrote is whatever I wrote.
No, they
And
said that. I swear.
yeah,
they said
no,
that.
he said that to me, and yes, and there's nobody go, well, they can't really argue
Sure,
it. So it was a bit of a scam, but it worked out well for me.
That's awesome.
yeah, that is awesome.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it is legit. One of my favorites. Talk to us about your current dog or dog's search age, experiences, all that.
Okay, so right now I have 2 dogs. I have Carl, who's a lifeline dog. He's a Belgian Malinois, and he's 5, about to turn 6. And then I have Rory, who is my HRD dog, and she's a Labrador Retriever, Golden Retriever cross, but she looks like a black lab. So
Okay.
Long hair, short hair?
she's got like some feathers. She just looks like a fat lab. She looks like a fat lab, and people will make fun of me that she's a fat lab, but she's just thick.
So,
Just big bone.
She's thick.
Big bone.
TC.
so having a pointy ear for live find and then having a retriever for HR, was that a like thought out process that you wanted more of an innate hunt for HR with not having that prey potential from a victim for live? Like, how did you go about selecting those dogs for that odor that you were going to put them on?
Well, let me tell you, Rami, it was very scientific that, so my last HR dog was a Malinois.
Okay.
And both my Malinois have been from Loups du Soleil, which is Michael Ellis's line.
Cool.
And I got this Mal to replace my aging Malinois. So the plan all along was he was going to be my HR dog. And then he kept growing and growing. And then he was 85 pounds. And I think we travel a lot more as HR handlers to go to different clinics and things.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted was an 85-pound Malinois that I'd have to stuff in the seat in front of
Yeah.
In
me.
between your feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So he switched from what I thought was going to be my HR dog to my live find dog.
Okay.
And then,
Very scientific.
yeah, very scientific.
Yeah.
And then one
Weight-based.
day I got contacted by Canine Companions for Independence up in Santa Rosa. And I'll be the first to admit I laughed at anybody who had like a service dog career change because I thought they were all like kind of marshmallows. And here I am now eating crow with this CCI career change dog, and she's just a kick-ass
That's
little
awesome.
lab. And
Nice.
can't imagine her being a service dog. She would kill somebody.
So they reach out to you.
Yeah. So just being around the dog world for a while, I'd known some people, and they, every once in a while when they get something that looks like a maybe can work out in search and rescue, they'll reach out and test them. Now I've tested probably a dozen, and I have 2 that worked out, I think. So
Okay.
most of them are not right. Most of them are just high energy and not really a focused kind of drive. But this one was great, and I took her and ran with it, and she's 52 pounds, and the flight out here was great.
That's awesome.
She's nice and compact, and she fits under the seat in front of me. So that's how I went about choosing that.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Very scientific.
Very scientific.
Awesome. That's great.
So what got you into canine? Because you've been doing canine before you were in USAR, before you were a fireman. What did that look like, deciding that, becoming a professional trainer, and how did that all kind of evolve?
Yeah. How'd you get even into dog training?
So I'll start. I lived in New York City from 2000 to 2005. I was working on Wall Street as an investment banker. I did mergers and acquisitions, so I would help buy and sell
So you
companies.
were a finance bro before.
I was a total finance bro.
Nice. That's
I
awesome.
was a total finance bro. On September 11th, I was up in Connecticut. We had to sneak back into New York because the island was closed. And I went down to Ground Zero on September 12th, and wanted to volunteer, wanted to get in there, wanted to do something, and they weren't looking for any finance bros to go in on the pile. They were looking for like iron workers, EMTs, first responder types, and I was fucking useless, man. Like, I had none of those skills.
Bro, let me show you my spreadsheet.
Yeah, hold
Check
on.
this thing out.
Yeah, check this. I'm really good at Excel.
I'm really good at Excel.
So anyway, that kind of that was a little bit of a catalyst, but took some time for it to actually work its way through. And that lifestyle sucks. Like, you make a lot of money, but it sucks.
At what cost?
Yeah. And so I was working 6.5 days a week. I had, and one of the things I would always sort of fantasize about is when I get out of this fucking place, man, I'm getting a dog, I'm going skiing, fuck all these people, excuse my language, but that's really, when you're mad on the Sunday afternoon and, all your boys are out drinking, watching football, and you're in the office.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm getting a dog. So I had grown up with a dog, and that was like what I wanted to do. That was me like fantasizing of life outside of finance.
Yeah.
And so 2004, I always say I was like blessed with the worst year of my life. I started the year off, I was engaged. I got promoted. By the end of the year, like, my engagement was over, and I had thrown myself into running. Like, running sucks, by the way. It's terrible.
Running, like the physical activity.
The physical
Rami,
running is terrible.
Rami, you don't know anything about that.
It's terrible. But I had done enough that I qualified for the New York City Marathon.
Cool.
So folks came out, and they're going to watch me. They're really proud of me, yada, yada. Mom and dad were there. I ran the New York City Marathon. I finished it. They get back on the plane, go back to California. My dad goes straight into the hospital, never comes out, and he dies.
Sorry to hear that.
And so that was really the catalyst of like, hey man, life's pretty short. Like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't want to be here. I'm unhappy. I'm going to die when I'm 50 as a fat banker in New York. And so that started me on like, okay, I'm getting a dog. I'm quitting this. I'm moving back home with my mom. I'm going to take care of my mom a little bit. I'm going to ski. I'm going to be a ski bum for a couple of years. I'm going to get this puppy. So I got a puppy, like this fat show lines lab, like sweetest dog ever, like the best dog. He was related to the dog I had when I was 12. And I did that for like a year. And I had, I'd been in New York for 9/11. I was at Candlestick Park for the Loma Prieta earthquake when that happened in the '89 World Series.
Oh, geez.
And I had seen kind of what search dogs had done. So I was kind of like curious about it. And so I got in touch with this group called CARTA, the California Rescue Dog Association. And I went out for a training, and dude, I was like hooked. Like, never had like that kind of like, this is what I need to be doing. Like, this is amazing. And I thought it was just pure fucking magic. And so I started going with this dog, and we eventually got certified.
Did he lose weight?
No, he was always a fat lab. Like, and that was part of the journey, is like, I was emotionally tied to that dog making it. It was very important that me and my buddy make it together.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like, I'm not doing that again. So the next dog was about genetics. And then all the dogs after that have gotten increasingly like, nope, wash them. Nope, wash them. Not right. Get rid of them. And, but that's sort of how I got my start. So I did wilderness first, which was fantastic because, you know, I went on 100 searches. Like, so I looked for real people that were missing 100 times. And that's cool to deploy your dog and do that.
Absolutely.
And, so yeah, I did that. I got on the Yosemite search and rescue team. So I'm on Yo Dogs. But
Great
I really,
name.
That is
Yo
a cool
Dogs,
name.
Yo Dogs?
Yeah,
Yo Dogs.
Yo Dogs. And, but I really wanted to do the USAR stuff. So I started doing that. I got on the FEMA task force as a civilian, and the rest is kind of history.
The same one you're on now? Or?
Yeah.
Were you on as a civilian before you were a fireman?
Yes.
Okay, so you were doing USAR before you got on.
Yep.
Okay.
Who convinced you being a fireman in school?
So, like I said, these mentors kind of appear, and my ex-wife, she was the first like professional dog trainer I knew. I was trying to figure out, like, I was so into the search and rescue dog stuff. I'm like, dude, how do I do this professionally? Like, how do I get paid to do this?
Yeah.
So I went and got my EMT. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm not doing anything, so I'll just go get my medic. And eventually it's like, well, duh, go be a firefighter and you could do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of was what led me into firefighting.
That's awesome. That's kind of, I mean, you were a cadet, right?
Yeah, man. I did like the Explorer Post.
You did the whole thing.
Did the Explorer Post, did the paid on call program. I even did in high school, we had a program, like a career exploration program. You could like go ride with a cop for, you know, a couple of shifts. You could go to the fire department, go there and ride, you know, hang out with them for a couple of days. There was a whole bunch of other ones, like, I mean, you name it as far as work. They don't have the program anymore, which is an absolute shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need it now.
Yeah, more than ever. But that's how I got into it.
Yeah, mine was 9/11. Like, you know, I talked about in my interview. Mine, I was like, I didn't have a lot of direction. I kind of fell back. I'm
He
like,
still doesn't.
no, yeah, barely.
At least you got a home though.
I can barely, keep my
got a
head above
job.
water. Yeah, but like, same thing. I wanted to do dogs, and like task force was like fire department based. Like that's kind of the push that. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was really lucky. I came on at a time when like Shirley Hammond was still on the team.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, I had contact with people like Pat Grant, Lynn Engelbert, and sort of like Shirley wrote the actual book, How to Train the Disaster Search Dog. And so it was just a like kind of a perfect time for me to be on doing that.
That's awesome. How many dogs have you certified? And since you've been, go back to wilderness, in the USAR system, I should say, how many
dogs have you certified in USAR and washed?
Oh God. And washed?
Yeah.
Oh, so I've
Certified slash.
I've certified 6 dogs. One was wilderness. I've done 5 FEMA dogs. 3 of them were live find, 2 of them were HR. And then my latest HR dog is also a wilderness HR dog.
Okay.
So she's, I don't know, that's not cross certification, but it's dual, I don't know, whatever you call it. But she can go out with CARTA or she can go out with FEMA. Dude, I went on this crazy journey on reliability on HR dogs, and that I thought they were all kind of bullshit. That I could make any dog false alert, and that really bothered me. That I knew I could make my dog false alert, and so I went through this whole thing, and I washed probably 4 or 5 dogs.
Damn.
And then I got to my dog George, who's the Belgian Malinois from Michael, he's almost 13 now.
Damn.
But and he was the best dog I'll ever have. I'm convinced of that. And when I got that dog, everything kind of clicked on, like, I wanted to train him in a different methodology than how the rest of the dogs were kind of trained. Wanted to introduce him to odor in a different way. And, you know, we got to go down and do like the Montecito mudslide. And that's where like the difference to me really showed.
Okay.
And he did great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was different about putting odor on him than your other ones?
So
what kind of light bulb made you change?
So
from
my ex-wife Elise, who was a dog trainer,
I like that you always preface that.
yeah, she was a dog trainer.
You're just fake.
Yeah, not me. She's a real dog trainer. So we were going through this path of like the reliability thing, and we managed to connect with a guy named Don Yarnell. Don Yarnell, he passed away, but he started the police dog program in Los Angeles.
Well, yeah, I was just say I know that name.
Yeah. So like, if you see like guys with the rolled towels,
Yeah.
like
That's a Don Blair thing.
That's a Don Yarnell thing.
Yeah.
Don Yarnell started that. He brought it to like the Border Patrol.
And
then
Don was at Border Patrol. That's
yeah.
where, yep.
Yep. So
connecting all the dots.
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So Don was like, if you go to like case law stuff, he's the one who says there's enough drugs on money in order to get an alert from a drug dog on just money. So he has all the case law stuff. So, dude, he's been doing it a long time, and I hated that guy. Like he was a dick. Like he was a total dick. But I grew to love him. I truly
rest in
love
peace,
him.
but-
Yeah, rest in peace. But like my first impression of him was like, no man,
Yeah.
he was like full LA cop.
Okay.
And
I know at the time that was like classic LA cop.
yeah, exactly. And but he got to live at our house. So he got a contract with like Oakland PD, and he wanted to save some money, and we became friends. So he would stay at our house. And that was like the best education, was sitting up drinking like a sleepy time tea with that guy for months every night, just trying to like grab
Soak it all
information.
in. Yeah.
And he had a different way of training dogs. And he was very, people talk about drive training. He was like the originator of looking at drives. And so we would sit and we would watch video every night of him doing stake tests on dogs. So
VHS.
Seriously.
Just in the camera. Yeah.
No, and then we'd watch like the wild dogs of Africa and how the wild dogs of Africa hunt and all this stuff. And it was like such an education. And he would stake test these dogs to like, am I going to buy this dog or not for the police department? And so he would switch them from prey drive to fight drive, all that stuff. He put them in rank drive, and you could see the dogs behave differently. So long story short, the way he puts dogs on odor is not, the dog walks up to the box, and when the nose is on it, you click and give her a reward. He puts odor on dogs by, we get those towels, those rolled, we call them rats.
Retrieve and
You soak them in the odor. You don't soak them in the actual source, but you soak them in the odor, and then you do retrieves, and that you get that dog to drive.
Yeah.
And every time they snatch that towel, they get this big whiff of odor, and now you're pairing the two together.
Yeah.
And so by day 2, you're having rats on the walk. You'd be downwind of them, and they would turn their head and quarter into it and find their thing. And then to throw the alert on, you put it in a box with like a plexiglass lid. They go over, they can smell it. They start scratching to open it, which is just a natural instinctual thing they do. They get frustrated and they bark. You pop the lid and toy flies out. And now guess what? And you are not in the picture whatsoever of click reward, click reward, click reward. There's no reliance on the human at all. So it's a different way to do it. And it works for Malinois, and it works for some other dogs, but it doesn't work for all the dogs.
Sure.
But the point of it is it gets the human out of the picture of, and do I need to check with dad before I alert
Right.
him?
No, it's them making
Yeah.
decisions
They make
on
the
their
decision,
own.
so
and
it's
they're
fused in
connecting
their
the
brain.
dots.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do it that way. And it was intriguing enough. I'm like, screw it, dude. I got plenty of kennels here at my house. If I screw this up, then it'll be a nice dog for somebody, and I'll move on to the next thing. And it worked great.
That's awesome.
It worked great. So, yeah.
One of the other things I went to, I think 2 Don Blair seminars. One of the other things he talked about when he took over the breeding for Border Patrol, or when they started the breeding for Border Patrol, he would take those circular Band-Aids and put them with the odor, right? So soak them so they have the odor, and he put them on the mom's nipples.
Interesting.
So the dog came out, first time they latched on was they were in odor.
Right on.
Which was, when he started talking about that, I'm like,
That's
how did you even?
Yeah, this is genius.
Yeah. That was pretty wild.
Yeah, that's cool. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
And guys just trying things. I mean, we're getting off track here, but there's a lot of science these days, right?
Yeah.
Like trust the science. And dude, that's great. but you got to work dogs. Like you have to have the Don Blair experience of I have a litter and I can screw around with this stuff and learn.
Trial and error. And
And you know, there's a lot of people who want to be dog trainers or want to call themselves dog trainers or master trainers.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a trainer, you can't have certified 2 dogs. It doesn't make you a trainer. You have to have worked hundreds of dogs. And that's really hard to do unless you have a facility or had worked in an organization or something. It's hard for guys like us to do as firefighters. So like, oh yeah, I've trained 2 dogs, therefore I'm pretty knowledgeable. But that's different than a trainer. Right?
Yeah.
So
1,000%.
Yeah.
And we rely on civilian trainers, specifically one in the Chicagoland area primarily. But if there's a problem or we're running into something, I mean, the guy's got 100 dogs, you know, in his kennels right now, and they have their own PSA club, so they're working, you know, they're working males, you know, they're not just dealing with obedience on a pet golden or something like that. So I mean, they know dogs, and we go to them all the time, and they're the only place that we trust boarding our dogs as well.
Yeah,
so
that's so important.
Yeah,
and the system's changing, right? Like the history, back to the history of all this. People were like, they trained their own dogs and they came from like the Schutzen Club and now they're going to do search and rescue. And so you were like, you built your dog from the ground up and we don't have that anymore. Like dogs are sourced more like the police department these days where you get a
especially
2-week handler course.
Yeah.
And the STF does a fantastic job of like, the dogs are great, but the handlers are green, and they don't know how to fix.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to expect them to fix the engine of the vehicle if they didn't build the engine.
Yeah,
and
they just got in the driver's seat.
They just got in the driver's seat, and it always works. And I think we're going more and more towards that as you know, especially FEMA seems to be less civilian than maybe it used to, at least on the West Coast.
Okay,
that. We're getting less and less like real like trainer types who are steeped in like dog stuff and do other dog stuff outside of search and rescue. It's all a lot more like 2-week handler course and here's your dog and call us if you have any problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that has like, its pros and cons. Again, you're moving to like a fire department based system where their dogs are going to work with the guys. They're, you know, available at anytime when they're on shift, all that stuff, and also understanding the ins and outs of how the operation of you know a task force works, all the different positions. So I think that's a really nice benefit.
Yeah, the service delivery part of it is a way better model.
Yeah, but
for sure,
I could see having less. I mean, like for us, like Rami said, we rely heavily on civilian trainers, and there's a reason because they see hundreds of dogs. We see like 8.
Right. Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's the same 8 or same 10 or same 12.
Yeah.
Every time we're out at training. So like I could diagnose and figure out problems with the 12 dogs we have. But once I see a new one, take me a minute to figure out what's going on with that dog, you know?
Yeah.
But when you see hundreds, if not more, right?
Yeah, that's
huge.
You get a wide variety of problems that you got to solve. And sometimes it clicks like, oh, dude, I remember that from... We had a dog like that 12 years ago.
Yeah, just having that Rolodex of education and experiences.
Yeah.
Invaluable.
I talk to the new guys at work is the Rolodex of, you know, the slide in your brain of experiences and things you see over your career, and you can refer back to that Rolodex. The same with obviously what we're doing with dogs.
Yeah.
And if you don't see it and you don't experience it, you don't know. And coming out of a 2-week handler course, you don't.
It's hard. It's hard to expect them to be able to do all that. And same with the firefighters. Like we don't have that Rolodex of fires at, you know, your first year or 2 years, you've gone to 30 fires. Some people see that in a career.
Yep.
Now,
yeah. Right.
And the fires are getting more and more dangerous. Like it's no wonder that we're getting guys hurt and all that. You just don't get the practice at it.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's the most difficult test and or pile that you've encountered in USAR?
You've been everywhere, so you.
I've been everywhere. I've not been everywhere. I think our pile at Cal 3 is a very technical pile. How
would you consider technical? What's specific about it?
So we the big legacy one that we have, it's all concrete. There's some cars in there, but there's a lot of voids. It's tall. There's drop offs. The dogs have to be able to move over. Like I said, a lot of voids. Mm-hmm. It's sketchy. That's one of the more technical ones. Like we get a lot of veteran handler types who get on top of it and go, oh, like, hold on. Mm-hmm. And then we had another pile that was a very long, skinny pile. And this is sort of how testing has changed a little bit, and how we've wanted to change our own task force is they set up a test where it was limited access, and you started on the very end of the pile, and you could only send your dog and you couldn't see them. And a lot of the dogs never got on the pile, and one dog passed that test. And this was 20 years ago. And the reputation still follows of like, those guys are dicks. Yeah. Like that's not a really, assholes, that's not a fair way to set it up. But you can make our piles very, very challenging. So I think ours are pretty difficult. Man, I don't know. I always like to move around to as many different piles as I can because, we're in California, man. We're waiting for the big earthquake, right? Like it's the concrete tilt up, like the big office building. That's what we want. But we keep getting, like my experience, I keep getting mudslides or flooding or those kind of things. And like every single deployment is something that I don't want to say we haven't trained for, but it hasn't been the main focus of what we think we're going to be doing.
Well, I think that's one of the things, like we always talk about 18 months training for the test. And then doing that real world, like the wide area or the flood or the, the mudslide or, and trying to recreate that in training as best as we can. Cause I mean, that's what we're seeing, like, the hurricanes and, things get put in the spin cycle but you're not necessarily dealing with the concrete collapses and, so I think that's just a training thing that's hard to recreate, but would behoove everybody in the system, to try to emulate the disasters we're going to.
We're not really good at that. Yeah. Right. Well, we're not good at it also because like, how do I simulate a 21-day deployment? Yeah. Like who can afford that? Like I would love to put on a 21-day training where we just grind people every day for 12 hours, but
can't do it.
Yeah. Even the 3-day training that we do
or easy stuff. It's not anything like being, out for 2.5 weeks.
Right. Or you go to your Saturday training, you're out there for 3 hours and do 2 or 3 problems. That's nothing like what you're going to do on a real deployment. Right. And like, are you going to go at 3 or 4 Saturday trainings in a row and run blanks? Because that's what's going to happen on a search.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, the mentality is like, well, I got to get to training. I got to accomplish like A, B, and C. They need to be successful. Yeah. Like I'm not going to go to training for 6 hours on our Wednesday training and just run a bunch of blanks.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely run blanks, not a whole day of blanks.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody runs enough blanks.
Well, that's one of the things. It's like,
not a bad idea.
What is success?
Spend 6 hours running blanks.
We keep thinking like success is they find people, right? But like if I'm a search team manager or even leadership, like that's great. The dogs find people. I need dogs to clear areas. Yeah. Tell me there's nobody there.
Right.
That's what the dog's job is.
Yeah. We talk a lot about that, like learning the blank.
Yeah.
And we talked about it today when we were dumping them in the fake house thing.
Yeah.
Like we at our training center, they set up an indoor, basically like a search area for, the firemen. So it's like it was basically a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom with a kitchen and a living room, all plywood and,
tarped
off and search prop, doors and the whole nine. But we talked a lot about like, if I have to put my dog into a window in this house and half of it's collapsed, this is the only access, how are they going to react if there's a blank? Are they going to come back? Are they going to be frustrated? Are they going to start frustration barking away from us? Like what that is all going to look like. So that's what we worked on.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Like redirect it, like indirect reward. Far into the house is where the victim was, and then recalling them or indirect rewarding them back to the other side where we dumped them in the window.
Yeah.
So that was our training today. But we had a lot of like a lengthy discussion on what do we think our dog's going to do.
Yeah. How are you going to know if you don't know the answer?
Right. Well, how are they going to look if they're just coming back and be like, hey, motherfucker, like,
There's nothing here.
There's nothing here.
Yeah.
Right? And probably next week at training, we'll run the same thing with blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the house.
And that's great. I mean, I don't want to say there's ego in it, but we all want to see our dogs bark at something and find something. But
there's ego in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
But if you don't work your dog for 6 months, if your dog's a trained 7-year-old dog and you don't do anything for 6 months, your dog's going to do just great. The first time you bring them out on a pile, they don't forget that stuff. But we all want to see it 3 times on every Saturday because that's what we do.
Right.
And that's not always the best thing.
No.
And it's been a difficult winter for us. We've been on the pile once since November. So
I don't know how you guys do it out here, man.
yeah, we're resilient. The Midwest is we're
we
tough.
grind out. Right?
Amazing.
We're very tough.
Amazing.
But
How come you guys weren't resilient enough to make it all the way to California? It's warm out there.
Yeah.
Why'd you stop?
Yeah. We'll get there.
One day.
We'll get there.
But we've had to be very creative
Yes.
with our trainings over the past 4 months because
I think that's everybody in the area has to, like, anywhere that gets snow and cold, like, you have to figure something out
Yeah.
to
Gotta be creative.
recreate, right?
Yeah.
but the dogs come on, they're just fine.
Yeah.
You know?
When spring comes, they can still find people on the pile,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So so this long journey you've had with canine, what have you found most exciting since you've gotten into it?
Dude, there's something about launching your dog on a real search that I love, man. There is like electricity to that.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part. Like, and part of it is
That's a dopamine dump. For
it's
you.
a total dopamine dump.
It is.
And you're chasing it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm chasing the dragon, no doubt about it. So I tell people the one and only time I've delivered a baby out in the field.
I almost did 2 days ago. Luckily, that didn't happen. Very lucky.
Yeah, so like this lady came out and she started trying to climb in our fire engine. Like, you're going to drive me to the hospital. Like,
Oh,
no,
not on this thing.
we're not doing it in here. So then she got in her Honda and we delivered it in the back seat. But there was a moment where I'm opening out the OB kit. And I'm looking around like, I'm the medic. There's nobody else coming.
I'm the guy.
They're going to expect me to do this. And it's the same kind of feeling of like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this. This is for real now. And I dig that. That's really fun for me.
Yeah, you're chasing it.
I'm chasing it.
Chasing dragon.
100%.
Sure.
I like the pressure, whatever it is, right? Work.
Yeah.
Like I like given the opportunity to,
Pressure to succeed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that's all of us just chasing dopamine at work and
100%.
yeah. So
Because you go on like 97 lift assists and a bunch of.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
some, yeah.
I got knee pain. I got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I like gambling. It's the same thing.
yeah.
I love gambling.
Yes.
I'm responsible about it, but I know what it is, right? Like I'm just chasing dopamine.
Yes.
I know what it is.
Sapolsky.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%. I know what it is. I've never hit Sapolsky's jackpot on a slot, but
Yeah.
I'm still chasing
But you
it.
feel all that dopamine during the process.
I get it. I know
What
what it is.
if, man?
We go to Vegas once a year. I know what it is.
Yeah.
So
I know I got a problem, but I can handle it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
my wife's in finance. She regulates it.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
The first step's admitting it.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Biggest challenges. What have you had? What's been tough overall?
So the big thing I'm working on right now is shit talking handlers, I'll say, in general. And I mean that in the nicest way of like our wilderness people and our USAR people, because we have a lot in California, right? We have a lot of wilderness handlers. People get lost in the Sierras all the time. They have real missions. Like if you want to go search your dog, get a wilderness search dog in California or go get an HR dog in California. You could search every week. But there's a bridge that needs to be built between them in California. And so this is sort of the biggest challenge for me is like, I don't know why we have these camps of.
But it's like we see it here, volunteers and professional, if you will. It's the same. It's the same deal.
Yeah. And we're in California, the wilderness handlers most of them are very good. They get a bad reputation sometimes because they show up with 12 stickers on their car that says stand back and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Caution, search dogs. And
Do you think if they just took the stickers off, everybody would get along?
maybe that's like the first step of like, hey, yes, like I will
Admitting
think
your
you're
addiction.
more,
I'm addicted to
you're more
stickers.
legit if like you don't have to play it up quite as much. But I want to build that bridge because I started as a wilderness handler and went to USAR, and I know when the big one hits in California, we're all going.
Everybody's getting
everyone's going. So I feel like I have a responsibility to get some of those folks trained so they can operate safely and effectively. But I also don't like the camps of like, oh, well, we don't like those people. We can't train with those people. And I don't like the way they do it. Like,
we see that in USAR though too.
Well, dude, it's terrible.
Yeah,
You see it in everything.
You see it in everything.
There's tribalism all over the place. See it in politics, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But
What? No way.
yeah. So like that part really bothered me because we're all trying to do the same thing.
Do you think now, obviously it's not just localized to California, but do you think some of that may have been the result of some of these more recent deployments where the system has been taxed at the FEMA level and then the SUSAR level, and then these EMACs are going out to XYZ search and rescue handler that might have a certified dog, or it's a pay to play certification, and then there's animosity based off of that response?
I think that there's certain people that we've seen self-deploy, and that I think that is a huge hit to the reputation of all those people who are kind of associated with them. So if they call themselves a wilderness handler, it makes all wilderness handlers look bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've had our problems in California for a long time. Like when they started, when like Wolf and Carta were young, the search dog was a search dog, and you'd be going on the pile or you'd be going on the avalanche, and it didn't matter. And at some point there was like this bifurcation that happened
To like define
to
specifics.
specialize. Like I'm a USAR dog, or I'm a wilderness dog, or I'm an HR dog, or I'm not an HR dog. I'm a historical HR dog. And like, there's so much to learn from all these factions if they're just willing to kind of open up and like, hey, this is what we're doing, and this is why we're doing it. Like Adela Morris is fantastic, and she's so open, and she was one of the originators of all this stuff in California, and she does historical human remains now. And you go to one of their trainings, and they're so happy to teach you and help you, and there's so much to learn, and that's what I want to see more of. So that's the biggest challenge. I think for me, I see there's a lot of people who get bound up in their ego, and it's tied to their one or two dogs that they've had. Like my dog, Joey, is the best dog, and I'm not really sure about that. But if I like don't tell anybody or talk about it, then like people will believe it almost. Like, man, my dog.
You say it as much, so many times.
Yeah, dude, I fuck up all the time, and my dogs fuck up all the time. And like, there's all this stuff that happens, and I know I can set up problems to make my dogs miss. I can definitely set up problems to make other dogs miss. But so like, there's so much ego in this thing that needs to be removed.
Yeah, I agree. And I think everybody's guilty of it.
Absolutely.
Myself included.
Yeah.
One thing that I think you can learn something from everyone. Like if you let's look at like operators or, Green Berets Delta, right? They'll pull in a civilian shooter to teach their guys to shoot.
Yep.
They'll bring in race car drivers to teach their guys to drive. They'll bring in the Red Bull Air team to teach them how to skydive better.
Yeah.
Now, in our area, whether it's professional versus volunteer, like we don't have a wilderness, like a rock solid wilderness team that could maybe help us with wide area searches that could be used in Kerrville or, Asheville or something like that.
Yeah.
So we don't have that resource that we know we can vet to use. I think we'd be completely open to it to help us on a wide area search or wilderness search, help us get better because that's becoming part of the mission set.
Yep.
We just don't have that.
They're out there. They just, again, it's the...
But we also don't know how good they are, right? Like Carta, I see them all over the internet, right? They've been around forever, right? I think finding them and vetting them and then being able to learn and harbor that relationship is a good thing that we could all utilize and learn from.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I mean, the truth of it, there's not a lot of innovation that happens within search and rescue in terms of training. Like we do it the way we've always done it. This is how people started, and that's largely because you start a dog and then you're not doing that again for another 10 years when you start your next dog. So I always like to look out to see who else is doing like real innovative stuff. And right now it's all the Mondio ring folks are super innovative and like.
But a lot of people aren't looking at Mondio.
They're not.
No,
they're not, but they should consider it. Like
right.
when you talk about like the FSA and some parts of the FSA are controversial. We talk about how long it is. We have to link things together. But in like the Mondio Ring Level 3, it's a 45-minute routine, off leash, no collar, no stopping in between the entire thing. And they do.
People would just melt.
Guess what? They do a search in it, and the dog goes and barks at a hidden subject, and then they call them out. And that's one of like 15 items that they do in this 45-minute event. And like, so to get that performance out of their dog, those folks are super innovative. They're always trying new things, and the stuff works. I mean, a lot of the like play-based stuff that has been, really popular.
Ivan stuff, yeah.
Ivan stuff, Michael Ellis' stuff.
Ellis, yeah.
That's all comes out of the Mondio Ring world about how they get more out of their dogs. How do they teach them quicker? Like,
We should get Mondio dogs.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
oh, dude, they're badass. Like, some of those dogs are fucking great, man. They're fantastic. But they do way more than, like, they do scent discrimination kind of stuff on the little woods, and they do the jumping exercises, and they do out-of-sight obedience where the dog has to sit and down and stay off leash at a distance, out of sight, like all of it.
It's crazy. I mean, the high-level competitors, it's how they do, but there's like, weekend warriors that are
Totally
completing those things, and we're over here like getting paid to do it. And we're like, dude, will you just stop barking at me for like a second?
I can't get my dog to drop.
Yeah.
He won't out.
He won't out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So we talked about challenges and
I think that's going to continue to plague when you have a group of people that are, passionate about something and like type, especially fire service type people. And then you have people that are doing it almost recreationally, volunteers. And like, even the trainings we've had, it's like, if there's not one person that bridges that gap and starts the conversation, like, hey, how's, just opens up and is
how are you?
Yeah.
Right.
Hello.
Right. That's just the first.
Well, where it shows up is like on actual searches where like, I'm like, oh, I heard Illinois down here. So I'm going to call Rami and find out what the scoop is and what I need to know and what I need to pack and all that stuff. Like on the real searches, the Canine Underground knows shit before anybody else. Like we are good at talking to each other like that. And so that's where it helps. We had Paradise was the big fire, like a sort of world-changing fire in California, and 85 people died there. And you had wilderness handlers and you had USAR handlers, and it was a big, giant mess. But if you could sit down and talk to people because you know them, you can kind of figure some of that stuff out, even while you're there.
I think we all have more in common with each other than differences, especially in the dog, but we just
Absolutely
see our tribal affiliations and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm FEMA, so therefore I don't talk to SUSAR and I don't talk to wilderness. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, we're going to talk
fucking
about that.
Stupid.
That's
That's what Rami does to us.
Yeah.
Like,
big time too.
This is the only time I talk to Mike. Like I can't associate with him.
Yeah.
Unless it's at training.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's out.
Yeah. If I went out with FEMA and he was there with SUSAR, I wouldn't talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't.
I can't.
You can't.
I can't even look. I can't even look at you. You
It's like
disgust
Bloods
me.
and Crips. Like not a chance.
You disgust me.
So you're pretty well traveled. We met in Denver. You got a Midwest, Mid-South training trip going on right now. What are some programs, classes, events that you've attended? And furthermore, what are like the must attends?
Like you got a new handler starting out. They're like, hey, I want to travel. Where do we send them?
Are they
HD search dog.
Well, it depends. Like for me, the HR dogs need to travel a lot more. Yeah. And that's just, you got to get exposed to like the catalog for human remains is way bigger than a 200-pound bag of meat that we bury, right? Like,
right. And it ain't, it's not like heroin.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so you got to travel a lot as an HR handler, and that people should know that going in. So there's the canine kinology class that is taught by Michael Ellis, Dr. Stuart Hilliard, and Forrest Mickey. Like if you can catch, that's an all-star team.
Yeah.
And Michael Ellis is not going to be doing this forever. Like he wants to go watch birds and do other things with his life. he does the things that are interesting to him now, but he's not doing like where he used to be able to go live on his campus for 6 months and take all of his courses and become a dog trainer that way.
Did you go to school?
No, I went to a bunch of that series of classes, but because I was working, I could never take the 6 months off. But I would love, Michael, if you're listening, like do one more and I will figure out how to be there.
If Michael Ellis listened to our podcast, we just stop.
Yeah, we made it.
We peaked. We peaked. We're out.
He is the nicest. I don't know how much time you've spent with him. He's
Zero.
He is the nicest, most humble human being I've probably ever met. I've never seen him get mad. And like his gift is that he can explain the same concept to you in 9 different ways. And I've seen him tell the same story like 8 times, and it's always with the same amount of passion as the first time he told it. Like
That's cool.
He's a true gem. Like he's one of those people who's doing exactly what he should be doing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, can't recommend him enough. So there's the canine kinology class. In California, we do this thing called Locating the Dead, which is they'll have like 8 or 10 stations of full bodies. So it gives you, it's more like an imprinting kind of thing. The CFT classes that Dina puts on in Ohio and down in Florida are fantastic. I heard good things about the Western Carolina HR classes.
Is that the Body Farm?
They have like a body farm there, yes. I like Cameron Ford. Like if you want to learn how to start a detection dog, the great classes with Cameron Ford. And then, Mike Searcy's doing like a class coming up in California.
Claw Point Canine.
Claw Point Canine. And going to see our boys at California Task Force 4.
Yeah.
And that's when we talk about like tribalism back in the day, like, and we still have this for some teams, even in California, they don't talk to each other. If I'm on 3, I don't talk to you if you're on 4. Like we don't train together. Like I've heard your name, but I don't know you. And we've changed that in Northern California. So I got to like give a shout out to the other canine coordinators, Paul Januario, Brian Medley. Like we all train together all the time.
Yeah. 3, 4, and 7, like you guys all just like 6 handlers will meet up here, and like you guys are all just like intermingled, like working together.
Totally, we all know each other's dogs.
That's great. That's awesome,
and that's really cool because then you get more opportunity to see dogs. You train in more sites, and like everybody's cool, and everybody wants to see their dog succeed.
But would you do that with SoCal teams?
Dude, LA guys are like so much better looking. Like,
they
are handsome,
They are.
like no, I love the SoCal teams, but they don't. Even though they're in close proximity, I don't think they always train together.
That's
and
crazy.
I don't know the history of all that stuff or why. And I'm not. Maybe they do, and I don't know it. But they don't seem to have the same level of like intermingling that we do in Northern California. And we're all pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice to have. I mean, like us in Indiana, we train together. Obviously, now that you're on Indiana, we train a lot more together. But other than that, like, there ain't nobody else around us.
No,
Like we can go to Ohio.
Ohio's 5 hours away.
It's a lot of driving.
Iowa is a lot of Nebraska handlers, but I don't even know where their pile is. So yeah, we're just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
You know?
You got to get on a plane.
Yeah. A lot of driving.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah. But there's good trainings out there. I mean,
You just named a bunch.
it used to be really hard to get into like Camp Atterbury, Muscatatuck.
Yeah.
That used to be a tough place to get into. And like if you got in there, you were cool. But now there's like a bunch of them there and like there's great places to train.
Yeah. You got to get you on a plane
Yeah. I did that already.
with your dog. This dog.
Yeah. No. He's annoying.
So I want to talk about HD Search Dog Fund as well. I have been signed up, I think, 3 times. And
How many times have you gone, Rami?
0 for 3.
All 3?
Oh, for 3.
The first one I did have COVID, and then, but I don't feel bad because it's such a popular event that there's like a waiting list of 80 people. So I'm like, I'm going to snag it right when it releases.
fills up quick.
Yeah, and it fills up quick. So you had 105 dog teams out this past go around.
That's crazy.
One, that's awesome that you can attract that many teams and handlers. But talk to us about the logistics involved with it, because I mean that's not a small undertaking.
Yeah, it's I love it. But like it doesn't happen without the team's involvement. So like I've asked my team to do a big lift and they've done it every time. And I don't know how many times I could go back to the well to ask them to do that, but like it's a long 4 days for all of them out there being in and it's the kind of thing where sometimes they don't even get a chance to work their dog. So the guys at 3, 4, and 7 are the ones that make it happen. I run the website and cash some checks for people and organize it and put people in groups and things. But I think it's a great training because what we're trying to do is simulate what it would be like to be on deployment, and you're moving piles every day. You're changing the people you're working with every day. And yeah, it's kind of a unique thing.
It's going to turn into a 21-day class.
Oh, dude, if I could do it for 21 days, like I've even talked about, like if I had all the help in the world and all the time, like I'd go wake people up in the middle of the night and like, okay, let's go grab your dog. We're doing a night problem right now. Let's get on the pile.
That'd be cool.
That would be fun.
Yeah, get out of
Like
your.
a
I
full
put
immersion.
everybody in cots in a high school gym and like, okay, you 7, let's go.
Give me a minute. I got to hang a leak. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Be out in the car in 15 minutes. Let's go.
I need my coffee. Hold on.
And then on top of the piles, you guys are also doing night workshops, right? At like a local hotel.
Right.
You guys do like workshop, like not just pile work.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the day part is kind of at the open training, and we had experimented having like trainers there, and we kind of went away from that just for the cost effective part of it. And so during the day, you work at a different pile every day. So one day you're at 3, one day you're at 4, the next day you're at 7. But at nighttime, night 1, this last time we had Michael Ellis come talk, and like when Michael says yes, I'll come talk. It's okay. What do you want to talk about, Michael?
Yeah.
Anything you want.
Yeah,
We're here to listen. And he does a fantastic job. And then the second night we had Dr. Melanie Uda. I don't know if you know her, but she's sort of she's a scientist. She's a doctor. And she's a counterbalance to the purely positive stuff right now. So she actually goes through the studies that are saying that purely positive is the only way to go, and saying, well, this study wasn't done properly for these reasons. This is what it really says. And by the way, there's all these other studies over here that talks about how stressing your dog is actually good for him. So
Was she in that panel with Ivan and Michael Ellis? Is that
she might have been. She hangs with Michael a lot.
Okay.
So one of the things about Michael is like when he breeds, he gives dogs to the people around him oftentimes. And so she has a dog of his, and she moved to Santa Rosa. And so there's like this weird little dog training like place in Santa Rosa now, largely because that's where Michael's based, but a lot of great trainers up there.
We're moving to Santa Rosa.
Moved to Santa Rosa. So yeah, that was night 2, and then
Taking it west.
and then night 3 is a social night because the whole point of this is we want people to get to know each other. So
hang out.
Yeah, we had like a pizza and beer kind of night at like the round table, and we watched the 49ers get crushed by the Seahawks, which was terrible.
Oh yeah, it was Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, and
You've had Evan Nolte out also, right?
yeah, I love Evan. Evan's a good friend of mine. I've gotten a chance to teach with him at Muscatatuck, at the military working dog thing they do up in Michigan, and yeah, he's fantastic.
I've never met him. I follow he's Den Mother Canine.
Yep.
I follow him on social media, and I think
We're fans.
we are fans
If you
because
listen, but
You guys would love him.
He's
a dude's dude.
he's right. He did it in the GWAT, right, and then
what?
Global War on Terror. But we always we always go to these emergency vet puts on a clinic for police officer or stuff
Right.
like this, and we all had like donated med kits, and he's like, you need 4 things, you know, and he like just lists them out. He's like, get rid of your tourniquets, get rid of like he just down and dirty street medicine for dogs.
Yeah.
And that I think
your nurse is showing.
no, my handler is showing, like my canine handler is showing, right? But I think that's important because I think it's just a bunch of random shit that you don't need in the back of your truck for the next, collecting dust for.
Well, the difference is like, so Evan did it in the field. So this is like pre-hospital care for dogs. And there's lots of great vets who teach the similar class, but it's like asking an ER doctor to come teach you how to be a paramedic.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, that's great, doc. And
Right.
every time you intubate, it's perfect lighting,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
adjusting the height of the table. And
It's a good analogy.
Yeah.
But Evan's done it in the field and like had, they lost a lot of dogs, and he was the dog medic guy. So he would go out, on missions to be the dog dude.
Yeah.
Not a guy.
He's a medic guy, and he has a great way of teaching, and he's down to earth. And then, he has a fantastic way of stressing people. Like
Nice.
when we do the Thunderdome, we see people sweat. Like it's good. It's really good. He's fantastic. I mean, he's my number one choice if you want to do like canine dog
That
medic
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, the TCCC stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, we gotta get a.
We got to meet him.
Yeah, well, we got to
Get him on the show.
We got to absolutely. We got to get more into the like medicine side of it. You know, like we've gone to the very basic. You know, our vet puts on a great class and gives us the ins and outs.
Yeah,
something like
Let's
that.
us intubate a dog.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. But
stuff you'll never do in the field.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Never going to cannulate a dog in the field. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
especially when we're working in the continental United States. Like there's no reason that we will be doing that.
Right.
So your 105 dog team event. That's you trying to bridge the gap. You had wilderness. You had USAR.
Yep. HR.
You had the whole gamut.
Everybody. Yep. And it was
how many states? You know.
Oh man, I had the list, but we had a lot of people. Like we had at least one person from a lot of the 28 federal task forces, and then a lot of the larger wilderness. And we mix them up. So like USAR people are with shoulder to shoulder with a wilderness person, and HR is with live find because people need to start talking about what the difference is. Like there's a lot of live find handlers who got into this and like, hey, I want to actually go search my dog, so I'm going to get an HR dog. And they get the same version of their live find dog, which is fast and agile on the pile and fucking rocks and passes tests in 3 minutes. But they need to talk to HR handlers to go like, that's not really the searching we do in real life. Like it could be very slow and painstaking. And if you can't slow that fireball down a little bit, you're not going to be able to do this kind of work. Yeah. So, and that's important to know. It's hard to know that unless you've talked to a bunch of HR handlers or been out on a bunch of missions, like, because it's not a 200-pound bag of meat that we're looking for. Sometimes we're looking for ounces, right? And we just don't know. We won't know till that day. And that can cause frustration even for the search team manager of why these dogs alerting in all these places. Well, because on the last mission, we were finding tiny little bits of people, and that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
And so, like, sometimes the super fast dogs that look great at training and look great on tests are not always the most optimal tool for that job.
So STMs need to take notes and know their dogs, and the handlers gotta.
The handlers have to be honest, and like, we have to stop waiting for like the system to tell us what we need to train on. Like we just need to train on all of it. Like, you know, we went down to Texas and now we're on a boat. And like I had been on a boat with my dog before training, but hadn't been a real focus of ours. And well, now it's focus.
Yeah, the mission set's just getting wider. Like the goalposts are changing.
It's like the fire service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just do everything now.
Yeah.
And the USAR world is doing the same with
dogs.
with dogs.
And the Paradise Fire is a great example of like they have wilderness dogs up there who had never worked in a disaster environment and never worked that odor source of a cremated human, which is, in my opinion, like a fully cremated human is the hardest thing to find. And they are expecting the dogs to succeed. And that's not fair to the dogs. It's not fair to the handlers, but the handlers aren't turning it down because they want to help.
Right.
Yep.
But they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, the mission is expanding.
Well, we saw like just the EMAC, right? They're bringing in police dogs and HR dogs to Texas and to Helene and Milton. And so North Carolina SBI met them down in Florida at Canine Search Specialist. Their police department realizes that there's a fundamental difference between their HR dogs that are police dogs. They don't do apprehension. They're all males, but they don't do apprehension. And they're like, well, if this has already happened at home, and then we got called to Texas. So they actually contracted. They did like CFTE, then they sent them to CSST, and like they're traveling because they realize they've now in a year gone into the disaster USAR world.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to see more of that. And good for that agency.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're taking the steps,
things,
understanding the lingo, understanding what SARCOP is, understanding,
and doing it the right way.
How they're going to embed with, Nevada won, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's super cool to see that kind of branching out because, right, the goalposts are changing. The EMACs are getting wider, to other agencies. And this organization is doing it right.
Yeah.
And they're good handlers. They're great people. But it's just really cool to see taking some of those lessons. They're just thrown into it, right? They just take their squad cars and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Like the dog will, they have passive alerts, right? So they can't ever take a, disaster CE. But
did you have any police dogs at your last
At HD?
event, HD?
No, we had all sort of volunteers or professional, firefighter types.
is HR big in the police departments out by you?
No,
Because it is not by us.
it's the HR stuff. If there's any nexus to criminal stuff, it'll go to the sheriff's office, and that means the volunteers, like folks like CARTA, they all have a county search and rescue team, and then they augment with CARTA.
Because we have two. Like the two biggest counties in Illinois, Cook County, which is Chicago, has one, and then DuPage, where I live, has one. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
For the majority of northern Illinois.
Yeah, it's very few and far between.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, there's like 90 certified HR dogs and for FEMA in the United States. I think 20 of them are in California.
Yeah.
And, but there's probably 30, I want to say, like CARTA HR teams in California. So we get a really wide mix. And it used to be like we keep going down this path of specialization,
Right.
and we need to bring it back to like what we're learning by going to a fire and then a mudslide and then a river flood. Like we need to go back to a search dog being a search dog in some regards.
I like it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean that 105 dogs is a great way, from wilderness and FEMA to bridge the gap that we talked about earlier.
And
And that's so important. I think spreading that across, farther east that's got to be the goal.
And we talked about this earlier before we started, but there's a potentially recruiting problem of getting good handlers who want to do this and understand the level of commitment it takes. And in California, taking from the wilderness world is one option of folks that we know have put in the time, they've certified their own dog, and now maybe they want to go onto the USAR side. And that's a great place to kind of pull from.
Yeah. Our volunteer groups around here, it's not as robust.
Yeah.
And, for us looking for new handlers is definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
Like you said,
We've all had trouble.
looking for firemen is a challenge.
Yep.
And then trying to tackle being a medic, being a fireman, being on the TRT team, and then now throwing a dog into the mix.
Yeah.
Or hazmat, whatever.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a ton.
Yeah. And when I think when you guys started, when I started, like it was harder to get a fire job than to get into Harvard. Like it was 1%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Now they're just giving the jobs away.
Yeah.
Anybody could get it.
Yeah.
I think that's what we just say.
Yeah.
It's bouncing from one department to another. Or this guy looked at me funny, or So
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about handler development programs, like the SDF and the new handlers coming on. Do you see a need for a more robust and more stringent, like like the police have like an 8-week or 12-week or even 16-week program for handlers?
Yeah.
Like, how do you justify that?
How you justify the cost?
Yeah.
You can't.
Right.
Never going to happen. So, but I think
Gosh.
I think what we need to do, and I heard you guys talk about this before, is people don't know what they should be knowing, right? So there's like the KSAs, the knowledge, skills, abilities. Like, what should you know? You need to know about how scent works, but you also need to know about search strategy. You need to know about canine first aid. You need to know how to read a map. Like, there's some very basic things, and folks need to understand, like, hey, I'm deficient. I never thought maybe I need to learn ropes and knots to be a dog handler, but I should. Maybe, so there needs to be like a list of like, if we were to create the RoboCop of handlers, what would they be programmed with? Like, what kind of stuff would they know? And so that's something I'm totally interested in coming up with. Like, what should you know as a handler? What should you be familiar with? What should you be able to do? All that stuff.
I think it's a daunting task, right? Like the first couple of years, you're just worrying about getting the clicker right. And then, you know,
timing,
paying a live fine dog.
It's hard to teach feel.
And then now we want them to be able to set up a tension diagonal, you know, and then next we want them to be able to utilize SARCOP appropriately, you know, using the rules of engagement, you know, like it's just, I think it's a lot for you got to want it. Like, you got to want it. You got to love it.
Right.
Yeah. The three things I see a lot of teams struggle with are reading their dog, timing of when to reward or correct, and touch. Like how
touch is a big one.
How I correct my dog, and you end up with people who just scream at their dogs all the time because they've lost that battle, and it's challenging. And the only way you get those things is time. It's really hard to teach any of those things. Like I can't put on a Michael Ellis video and say he's going to teach you about timing. Like you have to. But if you sit there with an experienced person and I say, right there, that's when you should be hitting it. People can speed it up. And my background is before I was a decent trainer that people would hire, you have to take the shitty clients, and those are dogs that bite usually. Yeah. And so you get really good at like reading the dog so you can avoid getting hurt.
This motherfucker's going to bite me.
Yeah. Like you put on the Carhartt jacket and the heavy sweatshirt underneath and the gloves, and you're like, I know this fucker wants to bite me.
Yeah.
And you have to be present. It's almost like a meditative thing where you're present with that animal and you're okay. He's moving. He's just got still. He just stopped breathing. Like all that stuff you start to notice. And that's tough to do when we're passing out black labs to everybody. Like they don't.
Right.
Was that a shot at Rami?
There's no danger. There's no danger to it, right? There's no, it's hard to teach that timing and feel and touch.
Do you think, having been in dogs before the fire department and been in dogs before USAR, do you think, and we talk about this all the time, I see a lack of handlers going to professional trainers like we always preach.
Yes.
Why? Is it a money thing? Is it an ego thing? Is it because I have a black lab, I still have to see a trainer on a couple things, you know? Not that I'm scared he's going to nuke me, but like other little things that, nuance that I want to work on and get cleaner with. And we preach it, and we've probably said it every single podcast. Why aren't more USAR handlers
seeking advice,
seeking guidance from professionals where they can be like, now.
This is the problem I'm having.
Now.
Yeah.
What's the disconnect? And you might not have an answer, but
I don't know that. I don't know if there's definitely an ego part to it. To go to a trainer is admitting that there's a problem, and a problem that you can't fix.
But we're not dog trainers.
Hey, or every handler kind of has that feel like I should be able to.
Yeah, I'm not a dog. I'm just
no. That goes back to seeing hundreds and hundreds of dogs. That's where
breeds and personalities, and
that's where you pick it up.
Yeah, I don't know why folks do it, or they're afraid to ask.
I mean, our preference before you get on the team is our expectation is you will, not you might, you will see a trainer. That's not us.
That's awesome. And that is a great thing to instill. From
these
the
are the
start.
couple people
from the rip.
These are the couple people that you will work with, and if you don't, you will not be here.
Yeah,
that's just how we've the last couple of years
evolved.
Evolved because we see these problems that we can't fix, and we're like, you need to go see somebody.
It's funny because we have like the one thing that came up in California is there's a great trainer named Jack Fields. I love Jack, and he and I get along on a lot of it. We see the same on a lot of things. And he got ripped sometimes for like, here's this guy profiting off of volunteer search and rescue people. I'm like, dude, he's making dogs so much better. Like, why are people ripping on him being able to do it? He came from a dog training. He is a dog trainer. He caught dogs for a long time, and he's great at it. But he would get ripped for like, oh, he's just in this to profit. Like, yeah, dude, that's his job. Like
it's his job, and he also needs to feed himself
Yeah,
and his
that's
dogs,
his
and
job.
he needs to provide a roof over his head. So this is his job.
And he's providing a great product, and people are learning. And so, he took some heat for that. And man, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish people would. I wish people
too.
would.
Do you guys-
on the West Coast, we're heavily, especially on my team, there's a lot of Search Dog Foundation, and the Search Dog Foundation has really upped their game in the last few years in terms of what they're offering their folks in terms of becoming better handlers. And I hear the class the dive into detection was awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
that was just like a
hearing-
webinar the other day, right? Didn't they?
No,
just
it was in person
There was
at
an
the
in-person as
foundation.
well.
Yeah, and I heard it was fantastic. So they're doing a really good job of trying to expand that handler suite of skills. So
Yeah, I just think that's so important, and especially like we said, you're not going to get the fire department to support you for a 16-week handler course to go run your dog. They're like some departments don't recognize the dog as a tool.
Yeah.
For the work that we do. So it's like the fire departments are never going to justify it, but I think there just needs to be the handlers that go out and seek, or they're required to seek the guidance of a professional.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's a must.
Well, I mean, dude, look at all the stuff you do in the fire department, right? Like the SWAT stuff, the technical rescue stuff, the dog stuff, like you're volunteering for all of it, both of you guys, right?
Yeah.
And that's not everybody. Like sometimes like we have to understand we're the weird ones and we want to do it at a super high level.
We want to be the guys.
But there is a mean out there.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the problem is, I always feel bad of trying to pull my team along. Like, dude, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be 4 days and you get to be here the whole time. And they're like, dude, my kid's got a baseball game.
I got 2 or 3 kids. And they got this, that.
And
that's
that's totally true. And that's a great argument. Like they should be with their family. And so it's hard. Like,
It's
hard to find that balance because I'm really good at not finding balance and just going to the
We
extreme.
all are.
Yeah.
We get a full plate. We do. We get a fucking tray.
Yeah.
And then everything spills
more-
off the plate.
Yeah.
Now we got a whole tray. We're like, oh, we're good. We
I
got
got more
we're still-
plates. And
Yeah. Oh, I could do more now. Now that I
Yeah.
got this tray, I could do even more
I
stuff.
got more. Right.
Like I look at everything. So like, I mean, I'm in Chicago suburbs, right? We're a slow department. We don't go to a lot of fires, but like always wanted to do dive, right? So I got in the dive, got into Swiftwater because it was more opportunity for work, right? Then I got into technical rescue, right? More opportunity for work. Then I got into USAR and K9, more opportunity for work.
I just want to go to jobs.
I just want to do hood rat shit with my friends,
Yeah.
right? Like that's, so that's just, whether it's a personality thing or a learned trait or whatever it is, it's just an opportunity to do more cool stuff to me.
Yeah.
But I'm slowly learning that not everyone is cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. So let's add a podcast to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so yeah, it's difficult. I get it, and not everybody's has the resources or opportunities to take advantage of that, or if it's a money thing or stuff like that. But
Dude, consider this. Like I said before, there's no other discipline where they're like, okay, so you want to be a rescue specialist, huh? Well, you're going to have to buy 300 feet of rope and bring it and take care of it. And your chainsaw, you're going to have to pay for its own fuel. And if you break it, that's on you.
yeah,
And
Mike, you have your own rope.
I do.
Yeah.
yeah.
And how many clutches?
I have a lot of equipment, but it has, when you compete, that's what happens. You gain a lot of gear because you need to have it to go travel.
Those things are expensive too.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's not a cheap hobby. Dogs and
rope, yeah.
is not a cheap hobby either.
Might as well get into horses.
No.
everyone else has been. Are you a horse guy?
No, but
Everyone else has been a horse person that's been on the show, basically.
my ex-wife was a horse person, and my new wife, who I love deeply, is a horsewoman.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Dogs and horses, man.
yeah.
That's the thing.
While we're talking about training and professional trainers, how many actual dog trainers are in the system, right? Are we seeing a reduction? Are we status quo? Are we missing real?
Well, there's Tim.
There's Tim,
I'm
professional.
not a trainer.
Tim's trainer.
Not a trainer.
We should make a not a trainer shirt.
Yeah, not a trainer.
But like I can name 3. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I think that just the way that systems evolved is there were a lot of people who were doing dogs outside of this, and search and rescue was like an add-on of like, I'm a professional dog trainer, so I'll go do search and rescue.
Okay.
And now with like more people coming from the fire department, and
It's a double-edged sword.
yeah.
Yeah.
The whole problem with dog training, it's non-scalable. It's a terrible business. You can't scale dog training. Every interaction is one-on-one with the dog I'm training. I can't bring him into a classroom and teach 30 of them like public education, right? So
Petco does it.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that training?
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, but like if I want to do real high level training, like it's
Yeah.
one-on-one with the dog, and you're limited by the hours of the day that you could do it. And it's frankly, if you're doing dog training right, it's exhausting, right? It's hard to get up for each dog and play with the level of intensity that you need
that
to.
they need, yeah. For
So
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's switch gears a little bit. Talk to us about your deployments with California Task Force 3. What more memorable? Obviously, we briefly hit on a few of them.
Yeah. So
mudslides and fires and all the other stuff. But what, talk to us about some of those.
I think, I did a bunch of the wilderness stuff. And then I think I did some math because we got like a pancake breakfast coming up. So I had to figure out how many times we've been deployed. I think we've gone out the door like 18 times with our task force, or either at state or federal stuff. So, and some of them, we didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's like you go to
roll
Hurricane
out,
Dorian and you
hang
stay
out.
in the hotel and look at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So
Not a bad trip.
not a bad trip. But others are like the Paradise Fire. That was an eye-opening experience to go do something on such a large scale of an entire city being decimated.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't
that
imagine.
was one of those all hands events where every dog that had an HR certification in the state was there, and we really fucked it up. I mean, that's the truth of it. And I think the USAR dogs did okay, but a lot of us weren't training on cremated human remains, and the wilderness dogs have sometimes this institutional habit of saying their dog's interested in things.
Yeah.
My dog's interested. Well, now in that case, when you're doing an entire town, not just one little house, like there's thousands of interests that an anthropologist has to go follow up on and start to sift.
Yeah.
So the anthropologists start hating dogs because
Yeah.
there's so much
Yeah.
work that they're giving them to do because we're unwilling to say my dog's alerting or my dog's not alerting.
We saw that. I think we saw a bunch of that in Texas.
Oh,
With-
dogs were hitting everywhere in
Dogs
Texas.
are hitting everywhere,
Like,
and then we're pulling apart God's green earth to try to find one of the 3 still missing people.
Yep.
And you got a lot of rescue guys and other guys on the team. They're like, "What the fuck are we doing?"
Fucking dogs, man.
Yeah, but then you have another dog's successful, and they're like, "Oh, that's great."
Right.
You
It's hard because, there wasn't the immediate, like, my dog's alerting, we need to dig here all the time. Sometimes there was, but like, is your dog, are those rescue guys going to find the fingernail that they're alerting on?
right?
Probably not.
Because they're not on the same page of like, even though the dog's hitting here and alerting here, doesn't mean we're going to find a body.
No.
We might be
People were tossed for miles down that
we might
thing.
be finding little, like you said, fingernails or
Yeah.
pieces of
trace, whatever.
pieces
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
pieces.
And that sucks for them because the dogs could be right all day long, but we look bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they could be wrong the whole time and we don't know it because we're not getting the immediate feedback of like, yeah, they were right or no, they weren't. Or we need to work on this. That they're alerting on a deer. We know it's a deer. Now we can fix that training problem.
Yes.
And we broke dogs because nobody's worked for 21 days straight in very hot weather. And we did not have a great way to do like, let's go give them a find on the side. Like that came on a little bit later.
Yeah.
And they did a good job in sort of fixing that. But it's a challenge when your dog is like, I find something on average every 7 minutes.
Right.
It's been 7 days.
Yeah.
Going back to Paradise real quick, there was a really big push after Lahaina for burn workshops and cremains.
Yeah.
Did that occur after Paradise as well in California specifically, or was there not as big of a momentum in that seeking that education after Paradise? Because after Lahaina, everything was burn, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and to go back to that, like the chainsaw analogy, now like you have to find this burned person, but we can't give you the source material for you to train on. You have to secretly either find it yourself, go find Aunt Susan who's in somebody's closet who's willing to give you their cremated human remains
At a thrift sale.
Yeah, right. Or, but yeah, we did have a lot of push for burn, and we still do. And there's still arguments with the anthropologists about whether a full human body can be fully cremated. There's anthropologists out there who said no, there's always some meat left that the dog should be able to find. But I think that is the biggest challenge for HR handlers is to do cremated stuff because it's so slow. The stuff is so fragile. In Paradise, they were finding stuff and you just touch it and it would turn into ash and disintegrate, and that was it. But that was a huge search because it also changed the strategy that they use at the sort of above us dog handlers. And in California, they're moving more towards this idea that USAR handlers work the interior of the structure, wilderness handlers will hit everything outside. And that's sort of how the partnership will work going forward. And they started to put that into play for like the fires in LA last year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's correct. I couldn't imagine an entire town just decimated by fire.
Oh, dude, it's a terrible like mind fuck of you're driving for like 23 minutes and every structure you're seeing is destroyed.
Fucked.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fucked.
wild.
I couldn't imagine that. That's insane. What did you have you had any live fine deployments, and what were those?
So I've had 3 live fine dogs. They've all gotten one deployment each, and none of them went operational. So all my sort of live fine stuff that I've done is from the wilderness world.
Yeah.
We just don't get the opportunity. And, I don't really understand how the deployment model works in FEMA. I mean, it's been explained to me. I've seen a deployment model, but we're hemmed in on where Task Force 3 is, where we have a team immediately to the east of us that will take everything in the United States east if we're going by proximity. And then we have California politics where sometimes they want to allow us out of the state and sometimes they don't want to allow us out of the state.
Well, there's the rotation model, and then there's what actually happens, right? Like,
I'm still waiting for the big earthquake in Chavez Ravine so that Dodger Stadium goes down. And
well, we got the fault. What's the fault called by us? That
I don't know.
That's why.
You guys have a fault up here.
Yeah, it's
we got
New Madrid.
New Madrid.
Real
Madrid.
Oh, yeah,
Real Madrid.
It's coming.
But it's
dude.
soccer team.
That's a soccer team.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Dude, I'm waiting for the big earthquake, and I'm waiting for that time that it goes right down the deployment model for.
Yeah.
I don't know which will happen first.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So 3 deployments with your live find, bunch of HR.
Yeah.
Preparing for, I mean, we've been talking a lot about HR. Preparing for the deployments in training, obviously it's vastly different. When you come back from each of these deployments, does your training plan change immediately, or do you kind of
I always come up with great ideas, like
take some lessons
while I'm on the deployment? Like, we got to do this. Like, why haven't we been doing this? And then I come back and it mellows a little bit. But usually the first couple of weeks are fixing whatever I need to fix that came from the deployment and making sure that the game's super fun and motivating and that they have a chance to win and all those things. And then after that, we're building in all the things we need to work on for the next one. Like, oh, I guess I need to get on water more. I need to put my dog on a boat with whole bodies in the water. It's hard to do in California.
Yeah.
But
imagine.
That's why I go out to Ohio, other places to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything changed specifically after the Texas deployment? Because was that your longest deployment?
That was my longest deployment for search dogs. Like we do stuff like that for wildland fires in California.
Yeah.
We do strike team stuff. But my packing list changed, I think, the most coming out of Texas in terms of what I bring and
Less shit or more shit?
different shit. Yeah. So stuff to work on the boats that they had so they wouldn't slip. Some more towels, some more like decon stuff, rewards that float, all those kinds of things.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
It sucks when your toy goes in the water and
Blip, 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 blip.
sorry, buddy.
Ah, shit.
You weren't getting teased enough before.
Yeah, right. And we talk a lot about it. What really opened our eyes to it was when we were in New York training with Scott. Was he's like, you train for 18 months for the certification, then after certification, you forget everything you did in the first 18 months, and now it's the real deal.
Yeah.
What would you say changes how you prepare for real deployments? Like what's the difference between the certified training and being actually deployment ready?
Yeah, I mean the certification is just getting your ticket punched to be able to go do it. And I guess, if you do like jujitsu and stuff, like the idea is a black belt means that you're a beginner now. Like you've attained the minimum standard. Yeah. So it's hard again because, we structure our trainings around 3 hours on Saturdays and you get what you can in there.
Yeah.
Is that how long your trainings are? Like your official trainings?
We do every Saturday and it's usually from like 9 to 1.
Okay.
Yeah. We run, it depends. Cause like I said, we have 3, 4, and 7 there.
Yeah.
So
everybody's hanging out.
Sometimes we have 3 dogs. Sometimes we have 13 dogs.
Okay.
There. So, but yeah, you have to take your dog to different places and do different things. So like there's nothing in the test that looks anything like an actual deployment I've been on. Right. So wide area, like, do you trust your dog off leash? Does your dog know to search when there's not a rubble pile, or is your dog now on a hike?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, do they know that we're actually searching for people if you're not in that sort of, and this is, you could talk about a canine kinology class. They talk about like Pavlov and how dogs associate stuff and like your dog gets jacked when you pull into the training place every time because they know that's where the fun happens. But if you're just
berserk,
if you take your dog out to the field, did they have that? No, because there's nothing tied to it that there could be people to find out here. And so whether it's wide area search, whether it's building searches, whether it's get on a boat, all that stuff, like most of our dogs environmentally are pretty sound. Like you could throw them on a helicopter, they're going to be fine. But we love to do that because it makes cool pictures and stuff and it's fun. But it doesn't really matter, right? Like your dog, even if your dog decides he's not going to go that day, your dog's going to go that day, right? He will be lifted up and put in the helicopter and then you'll work on it later.
Yeah.
But it's the level of distractions and real world stuff is something we never do, right? Like nobody's thrown a full refrigerator onto the pile and just let it rot for a week, right? We don't throw roadkill onto the pile nearly enough. Like we're not throwing, dude, in Paradise, people would just keep full deer in a freezer, not dressed, just a full deer.
A full deer.
Yeah. We don't work burned houses where, everything HR goes down the drain, right? So you cut yourself shaving, like dogs are alerting on things like showers and like that's not what we're looking for, but they're not wrong.
Yeah.
But none of that stuff is in your pretty pristine rubble pile that you train on.
And it's not in the CSS manual.
It's not in the CSS manual. It's not, we have distractions on the test, but it's like
McDonald's.
Here's a sandwich.
Yeah. It's
what is it? McGriddle.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So like the level of distraction is through the roof. Does your dog work well in proximity to other dogs? Like, can you work, if you're doing a full block like Paradise, can another dog be working
on the other side? On
the other side of you, is your dog going to want to go tag that dog? Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We don't work enough in the rain in California. We don't work enough at night.
But firemen melt in the rain.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Dude. And if it's raining, then can't be doing it, right?
No, if it's raining, we ain't training.
Yeah, exactly. So like just making it as real world as possible is like, we don't really search, and we search pretty clean rubble. We don't have.
Yeah. Distractions are so important, and all of us do not do nearly enough. And it not just in searches, it's distractions in obedience, distractions in everyday shit that you have to do that you would do on a deployment, walking from point A to point B with 60, 30, 40 other people,
right.
Tons of food, tons of people, tons of activity.
Yeah. Is your dog the one that tees off every time somebody gets up and goes to the bathroom at 2 a.m. Like nobody's going to like you.
Yeah.
That's a problem. But then, you know, I had to do a search at a San Jose Home Depot that burned on leash. Like, do you work your dog on leash on a rubble pile? Like, Home Depot is the scariest place for a dog. There's so much shit in there that can kill him.
Right.
Like right now, not to mention just walking through the paint aisle and now he's got paint up to his elbows, like whole decon, like nightmare.
Yeah.
But like, do you work your dog on leash in real situations? Like, can you do that? You know, every search I've been on, I've had to do some element on leash for part of it, and they had to be working. And most dogs are like, oh, now we're walking to the next problem.
Do you run an e-collar?
My dogs are all trained on an e-collar, so they've all been acclimated. I don't usually use it on a search, just because I try to run them naked most of the time because I don't want to get yelled at. And they usually don't need it.
Yeah.
So one of the things, totally side note here, a lot of dogs are whistle trained, right? Which I always thought was stupid because we almost always are wearing some form of like breathing protection, so you can't use your whistle. Well, dude, I was at my kid's like flag football game and the coach is out there with an electronic whistle pushing the button. I'm like, dude, that would work for dog training.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. So you could buy electronic whistle.
You had a whistle out today.
I did use a whistle.
And it train your dog now to do like a whistle stop. It's a cool little safety thing. And now you don't have to worry about like what you do with a mask on.
Half mask on. Or
right.
That's the kind of stuff that you don't think about. And that, I mean, that's in the list of, like you were talking before, like the list of things you should know. Yeah. You should know that when you're wearing a half mask, you can't blow your whistle.
Yeah. Like if you are relying on that for your e-stop, brother.
My whistle's right here.
Yeah. Here's my whistle, right? So those like handheld electronic ones are golden.
Yeah.
The hazmat people won't let you out there anymore without a mask on.
Yeah.
You know?
Nerds.
Yeah.
Nerds. So what are you pursuing right now?
Dude, so I mentioned the Siren Project a little bit. That's taking a lot of time right now. It's amazing. We all, well, I can't speak for you guys, but when you become a firefighter, you're like, dude, I'm gonna pull somebody from a building. It's gonna be heroic shit. And we're gonna get to do some cool stuff. And like that never happens. Like maybe you know somebody. Did you? Mm-hmm. Congratulations. You should retire.
I'm working on it.
But through the Siren Project, like we're saving a lot of people. Like there's a lot of guys who are on the edge and this was the last thing that they were going to try before they took themselves out. So that's taken a lot of time. And that's honestly one of the most fulfilling things we're doing.
Not-for-profits is so much time.
It's a lot of time. Yeah. A lot of time. So we're doing this gala September 10th in New York. The speaker is going to be the CIA agent who located bin Laden. So if you've seen
the analyst,
Zero Dark 30, Maya, Maya was an amalgamation of several people, but she was the lead analyst in that group. And it's her first time coming out publicly. So it should be a good time. September 10th, this is the 25th anniversary of 9/11 coming up. So we want to go to New York and honor all those who sacrificed, 415 first responders, the 343 firefighters, and 72 law enforcement. And so we're planning a gala. And dude, I don't know how to plan a gala. Like, I don't know how to do this. Yeah, I'm going to know. Talk to me next year and I will be like the gala expert. But it's sort of like doing the NorCal training. Like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm going to figure out how to sell tickets online. Yeah. So
we'll get us that information and
it's all on the
site. Do we have show notes? We do have show notes. We could throw in the show notes.
We could. Show notes. Yeah.
The sirenproject.org. And that's for people who want to go to that gala or if they're seeking help, first responders. We're happy to help.
That's awesome.
Down to Mexico.
Very cool. And we should probably go to New York.
We should also go to Mexico.
You should also go to Mexico. First, you should go to Mexico so you understand, and then go to New York.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Tim was just on a podcast that I recently listened to. He talks a lot more about the Siren Project if anybody's interested in the details of what they actually do. That was the
Behind the Shield
James
podcast. Yeah, he's awesome.
If you want more information on that, definitely check that out. So that was definitely a good listen.
Yeah, it gets a little weird.
It's all good.
Yeah,
we're here for the weird.
We are here for the weird. That's awesome. A couple nonprofits. What are you excited about with this podcast?
Dude, I'm stoked that there's like For Us Bias. Remember FUBU, Remember
Yeah.
that FUBU? For Us by Us.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it right here.
That's cool. The guy from Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FUBU.
Is that
Yeah.
is
No.
the dude from
Yeah.
Shark Tank? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Damon.
Yep.
Damon Dash? Dame Dash?
No, Dame Dash was a
That's
Rockefeller.
Rockaware.
Rockaware,
Yeah.
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 I forget, but
Damien, yeah. That was the FUBU guy.
yeah.
Yeah. So
We got to start rapping FUBU.
I'm stoked we got a podcast for us because it's always just like trying to take dog training and dog podcasts and sort of apply it. But this is like right down the middle of the plate of what we're doing. So it goes to the whole thing of like building bridges and like the people in the East Coast and people in the West Coast, like we're all the same.
Right.
And this is a way to communicate more and learn more and figure out who's out there. Because like I said, when you go to one of these deployments, the Canine Underground is how you get the information.
Yeah, I
Yes.
would agree. Yeah. Agree.
yeah.
Like we were like on the way to Texas, we were already texting people like,
What do we do?
What, yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
What are we in for?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do I acclimate my dog?
Who do
Yeah.
we talk to? Yeah.
Well, we're really excited. Like we said, and we've been professing it on every episode, is no one was doing it. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we saw you on Cameron Ford and Working Dog Radio had a couple handlers, but nobody was just in
Doing this.
lane specifically.
Yeah.
Like there's some detection ones out there.
I mean, I guess we'll have to get some wilderness handlers for sure at some point.
Yeah.
Continue to bridge the gap.
There's some great ones out there that are like super knowledgeable and been doing it forever. And
I don't know what questions we'll ask, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean like Shay Cook, like there's people who've crossed over and have done both. Like Shay has done trailing dogs and wilderness dogs, and she was another mentor of mine. She's fantastic. Now she's on Task Force 4 and she's starting an HR dog. So like
Go to California.
Yeah.
come to California.
We'll
dude.
spend
Yeah.
a month.
I love California.
That's why we do this in January, so you guys can get out of this place and come
Yeah.
to California.
Well, my wife and I go like every 18 months to NorCal.
Yeah.
So we'll go up to
Just not to the.
not to the
Not when
training.
we're doing
No,
it.
we go in September usually. We
Oh
go,
for 3.
Yeah, we
Write
go
it
to
off, bro.
like
Now that you got a podcast, you can write all that training off.
Yeah, if it was actually making
if it
money.
was making money, we're still
Well, you know.
we're in the red
Yeah.
so deep.
Yeah.
But
Well worth it though.
anyone you think that we should get on the show, because that is, we've had a awesome group of guests so far, but we're just looking to make those contacts to get people on who would enjoy being on and who would be good guests as well, be able to engage in conversation. And anyone you can think of off the top of your head that,
Oh, dude, anytime you get Michael Ellis, but you got to give him
2 years.
he'll do it whenever. He's like, he's down for whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he's the guy that will hang out there till midnight if people are still talking to him because he loves it.
Yeah.
But
For the love of the game.
Yep.
it's hard to get him to like keep it focused sometimes for like 1 hour.
Yeah.
Tends to go to 3 hours. So just
That's fine.
Book it a little longer.
Okay.
But he's fantastic.
We'll do a two-parter.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, you got to go to California with us.
Jeremiah coming to California.
Jeremiah's a sound engineer. He's amazing.
He's
Jeremiah.
I think that
We're going to Cali.
Michael Ellis, Cameron Ford, Ivan. There's a whole host of handlers. I think you guys have a chance when you're like running out of ideas to go like, okay, let's go back and talk to some of the historical people who started this, like the Bill Dotsons of the world from Virginia, T-Mac.
Yeah.
Like somebody needs to log all that history and ask them how it started and what they did and why they do it. Nobody realizes that all this is based on Swiss dog stuff. Like our FSA, our tests are all based on what the Swiss were doing. Like, I think that's super cool to know. Like, and they're still doing it.
So going back real quick,
Yeah.
your thesis project,
Yeah.
can we read that?
Yeah.
I have
It's
it.
available.
You have it?
I have it.
Yeah.
Of course you have it.
He
Send
gave
them.
it. He sent it to me.
Thanks for forwarding it.
You don't read.
You're going to be the third person to read it.
I listen and I read. I read a book once.
It is.
A lot of pictures.
Touching the Dragon. That was it.
I did that. Great book.
It's a great book. Yeah.
I read it and I listened to it.
Nice.
Separate times.
I listened to it. I didn't read it.
Wow. Unreal.
All right. So get some of the OGs, get some of this history documented.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's
Yeah.
people out there just like Jen Brown is fantastic. That was a great guest. Like there's people all over the place that are.
Yeah.
Mike Searcy, why is he not on here yet?
He's coming.
Yeah.
Next month, I think.
April, May, somewhere.
Yeah. He's
whenever
gonna come up,
Okay.
train for a day.
Come out to California and do it, remote.
Yeah, we do have that option.
We're getting there, dude.
yeah.
Baby steps.
Yeah, we gotta crawl before you
We're
walk.
on number 7, right?
This is 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows better than we do.
I know, right? I don't know. I've been here for, I don't know, 6, 8,
Yeah.
12. Right.
Get Dina Hutchins. Like, she's a fantastic, like, her trainings are great. At
Yeah.
CFTE, like Nick, Kathleen Kelsey. Like,
Yeah, the whole CFTE crowd is I'd like to get, and Kathleen, we can probably get up for training one weekend or something like that because she's not far. And,
Yeah.
awesome, man. Well,
When we started talking to you at first, you had like 1,000 ideas on what to speak about and what we should rap about. So now that we've got you here, now we can do a remote and we can,
Yes.
like do a follow up.
jump on and
Yeah.
hit the
Tim's
computer.
one of
latest
those-
crazy idea.
Each one of those
top.
topics was a whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
He's got them with. He's like,
I'm
you guys-
looking like who?
we didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about this.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, if you can grab Sandy Bryson, she was the first one in California to have a search dog, which is pretty much like beyond the Seratex up in Washington. Like she's still around and she's feisty. She's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, I never heard the name, but let's do it.
Yeah.
She's got a couple books out, like training the search dog, and yeah, she's a big shepherd person.
Oh, I think I have that book.
yeah,
She got like one of them old dumb helmets on the front cover.
probably yeah.
It's like,
It's not like a European fire helmet, but it's like a 70s climbing helmet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
it's like blue and red text on it. Is that it?
I don't know.
know.
It's like a black and white.
Okay. I
But
have a book.
Sandy's fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna wrap some episodes with you remote. Now
Awesome.
now you've
Yeah.
been in studio. And
We could do like Instagram Live.
that would be cool.
Yeah. Like a Q&A, just Instagram Live. Different time zones.
Technology.
Yeah.
Technology.
So,
Love it.
last question. If you were just getting into canine, what advice would you give to yourself, younger self, new handlers on how to succeed?
I think there's a lot of people rushing to be an expert on stuff right now. Like enjoy being new and absorbing
Mm-hmm.
and sitting with it and being able to like be new at something and being good at being new. Like nobody wants to be the new person. Everybody wants to be like, I'm the expert. I'm the certified one. I'm the whatever. Dude, I got to a place where like I was pretty sure I knew everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a little bit, I realized I don't know shit. Like I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And
I think
every
we all
answer,
revisit that.
yeah, every
the time.
answer starts with, well, it depends. Like,
Yeah.
it depends on what you're seeing. And so like enjoy being new and just realize that nobody really has all the answers. Just there's people with some more experience.
Sure.
Stay away from anybody who calls themselves a master trainer. Big red flag.
Yeah.
If they're selling that, then don't go. And yeah, there's great people out there, but most of the really good trainers are super humble, and you would never know it. You'd have to ask around to find out who they are.
It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to add?
go to a Michael Ellis class. Go to the canology class. Like,
It's on my list.
yeah,
I wrote it down.
get out of the
The one thing you wrote down.
And locating the dead.
Okay. Good.
yeah. That's in June. Get out of the world of search dogs to really learn how to be like a dog handler and dog person.
Yeah. That's one thing that we preach is go to those civilian trainers, watch, the call out
so many
videos,
videos.
so many videos, and dig deep into
Nerd out on it.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
just nerd out and just master your craft.
As soon as you think you're a badass, like go to a Mondio ring trial and watch them do the object guard where like, dude, my dog can, how do they do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did they get there?
How do they
Yeah.
get there?
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
What's the progression?
And then you'll be like, yeah, I'm not such a badass. Like there's people
Humble
doing
yourself-
way
humble
cooler,
yourself.
way
Yeah.
cooler stuff than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Tim, thank you for
Thanks for coming out.
diverting
dude,
Diverting.
from
awesome.
Chicago.
Huge.
Anytime.
We just got 3 inches of snow yesterday. Luckily, today was actually pretty nice out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as comfortable.
We had 70-degree weather Monday. We had tornadoes Tuesday, and then we had snow on Wednesday.
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's just
It
a
was-
classic.
It went from
Midwestern
75
week.
to 80 and then back to like 76 in California before I left. So
yeah. Nice
sounds
homeostasis.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tim, thank you so much for coming.
yeah, dude. Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having me. Appreciate it.
It's great.
That's it for another episode of the Disaster Dog Podcast.
Number 8?
Number 7.
7?
We just said 7.
12?
If you want to be on the show, reach out to us.
You could be number 8.
We're all over Facebook, Instagram. Like, share, rate, subscribe, and leave a comment on the Instagram.
Yes, leave comments.
Dialogue.
We
want to rap with you
Tell me
on
all the
social
things
media.
I'm wrong about.
Yeah, tell us what we suck at. So that's it.
Not a real trainer.
We're not real trainers.
I train dogs.
We work dogs.
Yes, thanks, Tim. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. That's it.